This is Assessment 3 by Chloe Heslington. For me, the image of a teacher is someone trusting and nurturing of the children they teach, a role model that children can look up to, someone who has each student's best interests at heart to help aid them to reaching their best potential, to advocate for their rights and safety and create extraordinary learning environments. Early childhood teachers are passionate about their work and strive for educational breakthroughs. It's important as an early childhood teacher to be an advocate for the rights of the children and their quality of education. There are many educators who are involved in groups that advocate for children. These groups engage in tasks on larger scales, such as collaborating with political policies and government organisations to get the results we all want. I've listed a few here. They also heavily promote their goals through providing research support and campaigns. But advocacy and activism don't always need to look like this within early childhood education. Educators can spread their message and advocate within their centres by reaching out to parents and co workers about their mission. Throughout my experience working with other early childhood educators, I noticed common problems of the children not being able to engage in enough play based experiences. Often, these educators would set up experiences that were strictly directed, and the children were told how to paint this Mother's Day card or to build the blocks a certain way, all in order to take photos and post it to ensure parents were happy. This frustrated me because the children seemed so excited to start the activity but lost interest once they realized they don't get to explore the properties themselves. The image of an early childhood teacher is something I don't want to bring into my future practices. In fact, even in my current work now, I advocate to include more play based experiences. In my future practice, I'm influenced from this image I've witnessed repetitively to actively ensure I don't become that type of teacher. Robertson, Morrissey, and Rouse speak about the research conducted on play based learning and how it's shown long term benefits from child initiated play and teacher supported learning. Arnold mentions how simple early childhood educators can advocate for play based learning within their centres through educating parents on the benefits as well as how to structure these play based experiences. This simple style of advocacy is something that I'll be using in my teaching to ensure my students explore their own ideas with curiosity and enthusiasm. Another common but negative image I've observed of early childhood teachers is the lack of creative and dramatic arts provided to the children. In every centre, there is art corners, but many educators seem to only bring out the paint and pencils when they have a strictly planned activity. And it's the same with music, only being used for packing up or group time. Personally, this hits home for me as I'm a very artistic person, and the teacher that I aspire to be is someone who isn't afraid to let the children make a mess crafting and allows for loud music to be created without telling them to be quiet. I value mess and I value being loud because this is how memories are made and children can explore the world around them. Reggio Emilia speaks on children having 100 languages, creative and dramatic arts being just a few ways that children can use symbolic expressions. The importance of providing the right environments for children to express these languages is crucial to their development and having a voice of their own. I'm inspired to bring Reggio Emilia's framework into my teaching practices, and I can actively do this by ensuring my classroom always has accessible crafting tools for the children to freely use. On a more positive note, something I've observed and is key to the image of a teacher is the dedication towards child's rights. This image is clearly a major influence on my teaching philosophy as it's of utmost importance in education. The Code of Ethics is just one of the teaching frameworks that provides advocacy to support children in all circumstances. The Code of Ethics is a great resource for educators to actively ensure they are providing ethical practices within their centre. Lastly, I'd like to talk about the image of a teacher regarding professionalism and leadership being large characteristics of an early childhood educator from my perspective. At the start of this unit, I knew leadership was important, but I'd never looked too far into it. My philosophy is still highly structured on teamwork and interpersonal relationships being built to enable shared visions and success. The research done throughout this unit has only further strengthened my philosophy, allowing me to advocate with the right information and evidence within my future practices. The image and role models I've observed in my practice has influenced me to use my team's strengths, weaknesses, and personal values to accomplish realistic goals in the workplace. In conclusion, my philosophy, my future teaching practices, and my research and evidence on things I want to advocate are still developing. Early childhood education is extremely dynamic, and with changing times, I know that my philosophy and teaching is going to evolve and develop for the better. One thing I'm certain of is that I'll always advocate for children's rights and always be looking for better ways to improve and strengthen the educational platform I provide to my future students. Thank you for listening, and here are my references.